Hello class and welcome to Introduction to Microbiology lesson. Microbiology is a subject which deals with living organisms that are individually too small to be seen with the naked eye. It considers the microscopic forms of life and deals about their reproduction, physiology, and participation in the process of nature. Helpful and harmful relationship with other living things and their significance in the science and industry. Microbiology is subdivided into three. There's bacteriology, mycology, and virology. Bacteriology deals with bacteria, mycology with fungi, and virology is the study of viruses. Taxonomic classification of organisms. Taxonomy is the science of organismal classification. Or you define classification as the assignment of organism species into an organized scheme of naming. Ideally, these schemes are based on evolutionary relationships. That is, the more the similar the name, the closer the evolutionary relationships. Classification is concerned with establishment of criteria for identifying organisms and assigning them to groups. That is, where does this organism belong? The second thing is the arrangement of organisms into groups of organisms. That is, at what level of diversity should a single species be split into two or more? And the last is the consideration of how evolution resulted in the formation of these groups. A taxon is a group of or category of related organisms. The two characteristics of a taxa, that is, first, members of the lower level taxa, that is the species. The species is the lowest level of a taxa. They're more similar to each other than members of the high level taxa. You can consider the fact like when you members may belong to the same kingdom, but they're not in the same species, they're not in the same family, they're not in the same genus. Members of specific taxa are more similar to each other than any are to members of different specific taxa found at the same hierarchical level. For example, humans are more similar to apes in comparison to how you can compare them to E. coli. So that's once you know the two individuals are members of the same taxon, you can infer certain similarities between the two organisms. Binomial nomenclature. Organisms are named using binomial nomenclature. The exception is viruses. It employs the names of two-level taxa. You name a species based on the genus and the species. There are rules to binomial nomenclature. The genus always comes before the species. For example, Escherichia coli, Escherichia is the genus name, coli is the species name. The genus name is always capitalized. As you can see, Escherichia has a capital E. Species name is never capitalized. Coli, the C is lowercase, always. Both names are always either italicized or underlined. When you consider in the context of a text, or when you find anywhere Escherichia coli is named or inferred, the names are both either italicized or they are underlined. The genus name may be used alone, but not the species name. That is, saying or writing Escherichia alone is legitimate, while saying or writing coli is not. Eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell has true membrane-bound nucleus. It contains multiple chromosomes, a mitotic apparatus, a well-defined endoplasmic reticulum, and mitochondria. A prokaryotic cell, on the other end, possesses naked DNA without associated basic proteins. It divides by binary fission and is bound by a membrane. Structure of a bacteria. Bacteria structure is considered at three levels. the cell envelope proper, that is the cell wall and the cell membrane. Cellular element enclosed within the cell envelope. You have all these organelles that are inside the cell. The mesosomes, ribosomes, nuclear apparatus, cytoplasmic granules, etc. The third is the cellular element external to the cell envelope. These are usually for locomotion and attaching itself to a host or another cell. These are flagellum, pillars, glycocalyx. We finish off with the structure, the pictorial representation of a bacterial cell. This is basically the structure. You can see the pili, the flagellum. You can see inside the cell. You can see all these organelles that are inside, and it's very important to know all the functions of all these organelles and how they help the survival and division and reproduction, all those. Thank you for attending our class today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.